Before this episode of Here With Me, I just want to state that we here at Maelstrom Radio, although we love Paul Metal, we do not condone violence of any sort. So please sit back and enjoy this episode of Here With Me. Welcome to Maelstrom Radio Presents Here With Me, a series about the stories people want to share about their journeys with mental illness, trauma, and negative thoughts. We are not professionals, nor are we a substitute for their professional diagnosis or treatments. Please enjoy Here With Me. Today, on this episode, we have Paul Metal from Moon Go Round. Hi, Paul.
Hello.
How you doing, friend?
I'm doing quite good, other than waking up.
Paul's from over across the pond, so he's graciously earlier in time than I am. So he's over here hanging out. So, Paul, do you want to share your story with people?
Hi, I am Paul. I'm an alcoholic.
Oh no.
That's another story.
I mean,
mental illness. I've had depression for roughly. Fuck, what fucking year are we in now?
2019.
Yeah, I'm gonna say a good 7 years. Been one hell of a drive, ups and downs. But yeah, I don't know. It's I'm actually quite open with this.
Mm-hmm.
Usually, I keep saying it's a rabbit.
Do you well, I have a question for you then. I mean, for 7 years, but have you been medicated all 7 years?
No.
When did you stop and realize you needed to get medicated, or or at least when you needed to go get help?
I would say I think it was after my third attempt at my life, or it was about 2 years ago. So about then, so been non-medicated for about 5 years. I think at the end I just finally said, "Fuck, fuck." Yeah, it was more of the people who were around me at the time. I threw them under the bus because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just wanted to lay in bed and just smoke and shit like that. And it was like, after the third time I tried to take my life, I was like, I just think I need help because I want to carry on doing stuff. You know, there's always that small voice in you that's still trying to spark life.
I'm super aware.
So all that blackness just around you, constantly you think about it. You can't see it, but it's there. A small glimmer of hope. Say, I'm going to bring this into, I would say, a religious term. See, with religion, people turn to religion because it gives them hope.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. So I'm not a religious man, so trying to grasp onto the hope is really hard. You don't have much of it, you know? The only hope you can count on is for others to try and give their hope to you. And that's what kind of happened to me because I couldn't see mine. I was long gone with all the loss I had. I lost a good friend. I lost an ex-fiance. And it was just a downward spiral into just blackness where I just wanted to be gone from this world. I would say school didn't help me with that either because they told me I was retarded. So my confidence was pretty bashed up before that. But being medicated now, you sometimes have to take it off and on. I see it like some days I'll be good. You know, I won't need it. But then there are other days where you just want to crawl into a ball and just want to die. That's when I take my medication. If you know what I mean. Like, I'm not against it, but I'm not for being medicated all the time. Because you need to learn, I would say, learn to know when you don't need it. You can't rely on the medication constantly, if you know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean right now.
Yeah.
You know, you have to learn that you're taking it, but you also need to learn that you will not need it for the whole life, kind of thing. You need to break through the darkness somehow. So I'm taking a drink. So that's my view on it, I would say, of medication. I can't remember what the question was. I went off for a bit of a tangent there.
No, it's perfectly fine. This is just kind of like a free-form discussion between friends. Do you often feel that with like, maybe I can ask this in a better way. Like how do you feel like how mental, like, because I can describe like how the States work, but in the UK, do you feel like mental health is a big deal over there? Like, does like the country want like their people to be like, because it's funded healthcare over there, correct? Like, you know, you're not looking at insurance like over here in the US, correct?
Yeah, correct. It's free over here, but the thing is, it was recently in the news over here that that the mental health clinics, I can't remember where it was, but it was somewhere that kind of fucked up. That they didn't really care about the people that were there that had mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
What is kind of really bad, because those people that need mental health issues, that have mental health issues, need the support. And the people that were working there didn't really give it their all.
Yeah.
Like, I'm saying, if you do, like, say if you're in the support center trying to help people with mental illnesses, please put your, I know it's draining, but you need to put your 100% into it.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're just going to force them into just a way bigger spiral of confusion. It's going to eat them up a bit more. It's like over here, it's fine. Like, I've talked to, like, my psychiatrist. She is a lovely. She's helped me quite a lot, because I turned to drink and all that. I still do drink, as like most people know.
Yeah.
If they know me, I'm a drinker. I'm an average drinker, but when I'm working, I don't drink that much.
Okay.
That's when I come back from work. It's like, it's weird, because I don't like going to mental health, I'll say, institutions.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I feel degraded. And I know a lot of people feel that if they have to go to this place, they feel like they're going to an asylum. Because I'm pretty fucking nuts. Like, if people know me way back when I was a kid and I didn't have like depression, I was just a happy-go-lucky. I wanted to be a forensic scientist. You know, I was like, oh yeah, you know, getting into it. Now they talk to me, I'm just batshit insane, talking about random bloody shit. You know, like, I did a quote yesterday that someone quotes in a Discord I'm in. My friend, I'll quickly find it. It's not that far. It's on the right Discord. It was basically, because I'm weird. My friend was asking, so what do I do now? And I just said, castrate yourself. Because, you know, that would never come up in normal conversation. But the shit I've gone through, you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And that's why I think most people need to realize, like, get into the hang of, like, most stuff doesn't give a shit. But the one thing that does give a shit is your life. And someone talked to me yesterday, because they recently just came out gay and they've been getting bullied for it and they've been getting depressed about it. And so I literally told them to not give a shit. And to, you know, kick their heads in, but that was the fighter of me.
I have a question for you. Yet again, I want to preface this as well. Paul and myself and anybody that speaks on these episodes, none of us are mental. None of us are in the field. We're just people that deal with our own mental health issues. We were just having a discussion about it. But I just want to put that out there real quick. But Paul, and we'll speak upon, I guess, like you're bringing something new to the table here, because you yourself are bisexual. Your friend just came out as gay, like, and it's hard. Like even in the world today, even though we're becoming more accepting as a world, it's still very hard for people. Do you find that, like, as you started to come out, and everything, did you feel like it was easier for you to just stand up and be like, I don't care what other people think about me when it comes to this aspect of my life, I'm just going to live it, and that made you feel better? Or was it at first, were you very afraid to even speak up about it?
I was afraid because the friends I had in school, they were very, they used to, pick on a gay guy because this guy was openly gay at school. Good on him. He did that. But I was scared because obviously I was bisexual. I was still going through the feelings of, I like both genders. It was different. I didn't speak out of it until my last year, and I lost a lot of friends that day. Many because they didn't like the side of me, because I think most people have seen the side of me where I can be like, I have like my gay side where I talk about fashion and, talk about men every now and then, and they just couldn't stand around me because they just didn't like it. I felt a little bit betrayed by that. It was very hard, but I had one friend that would stick by me through that. And after I left school, I went to college. School is not really the most place to be open about stuff because people are still very childish in school. Because as I think we can all say, school was a bitch. School, high school, that was a fucking bitch to get through. But when you start going to college, I think college is, I know in England it's way more open over here in England because it's very different. You start college at 16 over here. Mm-hmm. And in America, you start at 18 or like 18, 21. I think it was 18 you leave high school.
Roughly, yeah.
And you can get scholarships and shit like that. That doesn't really work around here. Colleges, you just like take courses of things you like, like engineering, science, all that. And then after that, you can go to uni. I say it's much more open there because it's less childish. It's more, it's more open. They have support groups over there as well. In school, you don't have support groups. You really don't. You have nothing like that. It's a dog-eat-dog world when it comes to school. That's why I hate schools. I hate them with a passion. Like, when I think after I lost my friend, I was when I left school, I was 16, college, I broke my foot, and she came to see me and she died in a car accident. It was different because she was the only one that stood up to me of me being bisexual. And so, honestly, what you have to do is just tell them to fuck off. If they do pick on you for being gay, straight, fucking bisexual, asexual, or all the other types of sexual, just honestly, just stand up, tell them, go fuck yourself. Simple as. Even if it's just in the middle of school, you have to stand up for you because no one else will. It's literally that. It's a dog-eat-dog world.
Yeah.
You have to basically just, stand up. Even if you don't have the courage, just build up and just say, fuck off, or fuck. Or get a life. I don't know, if you're not a person to swear, then just tell them to bugger off. But unless you're American, that might sound weird because I think, do Americans use bugger?
No.
No? Okay, so bugger off is just a polite way to say fuck off. It's pretty literate there. It's just a very polite way to say fuck off. So bugger off and just say, leave me alone. And if they don't leave you alone, one kick, one kick around the head, set them straight. Well, in a sense. But yeah,
I want to.
That's just my view on that.
I want to go back and touch on something that I think resonates with me, and I think it's something very similar that I've personally has had happen over the last 10 years or plus, actually, is that you mentioned not only treating people like crap, but also that the darkness, and then having that little spark of that voice, that little spark within you. It just like hits home with me, especially because of like I treated people like shit. And you and I kind of discussed a little bit like how, how I was, and it's hard. Like don't you feel like the little voice in you is saying you don't do this, and then like you just like, and the big brain or whatever you want to call it, like the one in control kind of is like, nope. and it's shitty, right? Because you end up hurting really great people who are, want to be in your life and want to be your friend and stuff like that, and you turn around and you don't get that. Like you end up hurting them and possibly losing them out of your life completely. Was it a lot of people you hurt, or just some specific people, or?
There's actually one I would say recently, but it was mainly in Heaven's Ward of Final Fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
I heard I don't know if you know Skage and Ritz.
I don't. I was gonna say you don't have to say names.
Yeah, it's I heard them because I was talking about raiding, and I kind of just cut off. I'd left. I was gone. No. I think I heard them, and like they were good people.
Yeah,
they were really good people, and I went and did that, and I kind of ruined that relationship. And that I still think to this day about that. I've had a lot of other people that just wanted to be my friend or something. I just told them to go fuck themselves, because I thought they were literally just messing around with me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think there was one where I was in college, and I had two friends that got together over the summer, and I came back from summer holiday and stuff, and I was happy for them. Don't get me wrong, I was happy for them in college. Like, this was back in my engineering days, and at this point in time, I kept going to my uncle Mick's place because he recently got ran over and got diagnosed with prostate cancer. God rest his soul. And I kept going over there every weekend to see him, spend time with him and stuff. And I got a phone call from my friend who was crying about, oh, he's deleted me off Facebook. And I'm just like, wait, what? And I kind of I ruined that relationship because I kind of got into it, because I say really different stuff to compare to what other people say. I don't know what I understand what I talk about, but they don't, and that's how I fucked up that relationship, and we never got back to it.
Yeah, it
was kind of just mass anger because I did have anger problems, and I was just like, look, you gotta talk to me in that way, go fuck yourself. I'm just trying to help. It's your fucking relationship, it's not mine. And then I lost that relationship quite out. Everyone comes to me about their relationships, and I'm just like, what? What do you want me to do about it? I mean, Jesus Christ.
So, I mean, now that you've been, you're properly medicated and you're living life. I know you would say you're in a better place now. Like, you have a girlfriend, you have a job. I mean, do you feel like you're working towards, making yourself like, I'm not, none of us will always at any point be perfect or 100% like fixed, but I mean, do you feel that you feel like you're on the right path?
1 second.
Sure thing.
Sorry about that.
That's
Someone
okay.
came into my room to see what I was doing.
That's okay. Do you feel? Do you feel like you're on a better path now than you were when you about 7 years ago? Do you feel like, hey, I'm finally, I'm happier. I have this girl. I have a great girlfriend. I have friends in my life. You know, you have your show. I mean, do you feel like you're finally doing the things you've wanted to do?
So that's an interesting question, because I see that I'm trying not to disappoint people.
Okay.
In the sense of, I'm trying to be in a better place, but there's still always that nagging doubt in the back of your head.
Yeah.
There's always that darkness that will always keep creeping. But I say being medicated, it does help, but I still feel like one of these days I will disappoint them of not being myself, in a sense. Sometimes the medication makes me a bit, I would say, too not me.
Mm-hmm.
I've had points where I was just weren't me. I was just like blanked out, like I was like high all the fucking time. Like I was just living life, just doing normal stuff, and I was like, I mean, I'm supposed to be weird. Like, I talk about killing myself in the sense that I do it as mostly a joke, but I never used to talk about that when I am medicated. I'm very just, I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm down to earth. It was just more of, it wasn't me, but it was me in the sense of two kind of like directions. I don't like being medicated is more, I don't want to pop a pill because I don't feel like myself. And I fight that battle a lot because I don't want to wake up every day and take a pill. I just want to wake up and be me, not depressed and that. And striving towards that, yeah, I have work. I get injured every day. What's fun, I guess. I do have an amazing girlfriend. It's just, she's so far away. It's hard. Yeah, it's living with those kind of, they help and they don't help at the same time. I guess if you know what I mean by long distance relationships suck, because you can't be with them every day. You get to see them every so often throughout the year. You know, like IRL, like, yeah, I do play games with her. We do a lot of stuff online. And with work is a bitch. Like, if people know me from this past week, I've had I got punched in the eye by a guy that had a really fucking sharp ring. And I had a black eye car with my cut on my eyebrow, and it sucked. But if I was in a better place than killing myself, I would say yes. I'm in a better place. But I've got people who I talk to on a day-to-day basis. I play games with. I think working towards that is worth it in the end, because you can come on and talk to people like me and Flatus and other people in, say, any gaming community that does suffer through it. There's fucking Discords for it. There's, I think gaming is just a way better place than I'm in now, because I've played gaming throughout all my depression. It has helped. It has very much helped. So I would say yes, I'm in a very good place. But still, there is the nagging doubt in that good place. You're not fully there, if you know what I mean. Most people don't know what I mean. I hope that brings a kind of broader perspective of where I am now, where all these good stuff has been happening to me. I have been getting into another hobby as well, was cosplaying, because that's like another mask. Because all depressed people and all that, they wear masks throughout the day. Everyone wears a mask where you pretend to be happy. I feel like I've broken that mask ages ago because I openly talk about depression and all that. I talk about everything. So, being in a different place now than I was 7 years ago, I would say I'm in a better place now where I'm not, injuring myself on purpose, and I'm not trying to commit suicide. Definitely in a good place.
Man, you hit on a lot of great points there. I want to make sure we focus on like one point really that you made, is that the mass. I like that. I completely agree with you. I think a lot of people, like me as well, I've forced happiness or the presence of happiness, like, and you know better than anyone. Like, we do our shows, right? I do Maelstrom Radio. You do Moog Around. There is a sense of like we put on that host act where, hey, welcome to Moog, hey, welcome to Maelstrom Radio, or hey, welcome to Moog Around, and we discuss things, we laugh, we joke. But then when we shut off those mics, we go back into, and especially because we're at home when we record these things, we're right back, and there's no mask here. And I think a lot of people don't see that side of us where we put out like this content and we make these jokes and we laugh, we poke fun at the games and Final Fantasy 14 or other video games, depending on what show it is, Maelstrom Radio, Moog Around. But I don't think we ever stop and I don't think our listeners may stop and ask, they may listen and say, I'm getting entertainment from these guys are really funny, these guys are like, they seem happy, they seem excited about the games, but then really on the inside, we may be drowning in our own pain and sorrow and unhappiness, and then like people who I went to FanFest and there's people that met us, and and by all means I am so happy to meet our fans and give you hugs and high fives and hand you our cards and talk to you, and then but I think there is that little bit of disconnect of where some people may not see us as normal, like, all right, they're hosts, they're cool, and they do these things, and they're content creators, but then really I'm just a normal person. Like I have my own issues, I work a job, I go, like, we do all these things that we normally do, and we're just like them. And even though our shows may bring them a sense of happiness or stuff like that, on the flip side, I do my show because it was initially, and a quick backstory, I did podcasting because I was so deep into loneliness on my day-to-day life that I saw it as a way to talk to people once a week, like just once a week. And that's when I did Evercast, and I did it as a way to be like, I'm going to talk to people once a week about a video game. And then granted, yes, I met people through that show, and it was great because we talked to these people, but a lot of it was I'm talking to these people because I do this show. And not saying it wasn't genuine. I adore some of these people, are still in my life and I adore them. Shin is one of them. But it was very, very weird and strange that like all the podcasts I did was always a reason to keep pushing forward. Even though Shin says you're great at podcasting, great at content creating, a lot of it, initially it started off as I want to have some form of human contact. So I'm not sitting on my couch every day, not talking to people, and it's not work. It's work. I at the time I worked for a company, and I did talk to like customers, but that wasn't like human interaction outside of like having genuine human interaction, like talking to people and expressing myself and laughing. None of that. And I think that's a lot. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that may be some of it for you as well, Paul, because I think you love having that bi-weekly show. You get to sit down with Chili and discuss the game and take yourself out of sometimes the moment that you're in. And I know it's hard for you because I know your girlfriend's long distance, but you make, and I gotta give you mad props. It's not easy having a long distance relationship, but you know what? When you care about somebody and you want to make it work, you make it work, and you've been making it work, buddy. I got to give you some major credit, because if you want it to work, it'll work, and you've been making it work. So.
It's like touching with that human interaction. I guess you could see why I raid a lot, because that is my human interaction. At work, my human interaction is, look, you're drunk, go home. Or you start in a fight, you hit me, well, I'm pressing charges. that is work in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You know, that's human interaction physically. So either I'm throwing someone on the floor or I'm throwing them in a car. You know, it's either one at that point. With the podcast, I love doing the podcast. I like sitting there talking about Final Fantasy because it's human interaction. You know, I love coming on Discord and talking to people. I'm always on Discord with people because it's human interaction, because I don't get that IRL. I have zero friends. Well, I would say I have zero friends. I have one friend who lives near me, and we only talk on Discord. We don't even go out. We literally just talk on Discord.
I get that, oddly. And there was the other thing I wanted to touch on besides the masks. You mentioned the medication, right? Like when you feel good, you know, you don't take it, but because you struggle with that part of, I want to feel like myself, and you fight. And I know you said there's days where you're great and you're like, I don't need my medication today, but there's the next day you might not feel that way. And I know that struggle might be hard where you're like, I want to feel like my normal Paul self. But do you feel like, and I think for the people that listen, especially the people that might struggle like you, do you feel ultimately the better choice is always, if you feel like you're not well, you're not having a good day, the pill is always the better choice?
I'll say yes. It's like any situation. Like, if you're ill, take the medicine. If you're mentally drained and you feel like you might make some bad decisions, take the pill. You know, it's stuff you can't control. You can't control your emotions. Your emotions just happen. You know, and having that pill that can control them, even if you may not feel like yourself and you feel like you could possibly do harm to you or others, take the pill. Just take it. It's like I don't want to take the pill for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want to be taking pills for the rest of your life. That's, you know, the only time you need to be taking pills is either you got a headache,
yeah,
or your old age. You know, you're like in your 70s, and you kind of have to take pills. You know,
I understand.
You know,
that I get.
You know, because I'm 23, going on 24 nearly, and I don't want to be, you know, taking pills. It just makes me feel old.
I wanted to.
I gotta take my vitamin C pills.
I wanted to point that out. I'm so sorry, and I didn't get to point it out at the beginning of the show, but you, I think, are the youngest person that I'm having on this series, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, you might be the youngest person on the series. So, like, for me, like, I'm going to be 34 this year, and I'm finally getting the help I need. And although you're younger and you're getting the help you need, I think we can both say it doesn't matter when you start, right? Like, as long as you go get the help.
As long as you get the help, I don't care, you know, if you're like 16 or, you know, 103. Maybe 103 is kind of pushing it, but, you know, you just need to get help. Help is always an open door. It needs you to go through that door. You know, even if it's just a phone call to talk to someone, or if it's talking to your GP to get you some help, you know, they can send you in the right direction. So all you need to do is take those steps to go through that open door, what is help, and you just stick through it, even how terrible it is, because we all know it's fucking terrible. It eats you up, and you look like a sausage, just laying in bed. You know, the pan is your bed. You're making a sausage. The sausage is you, just slowly burning away inside. All we need to do is get out of that bed and just go down to go. So we need to go through that open door and get the help. You know, and it takes a few minutes depending where you are, give or take. So I'll go to your clinic, psychiatrist, phone call, you know, talk to your family. They can help you. Just talk. Just make the decision. You know, you can sit there and procrastinate. I can say the word nearly. Procrastinate over it for a good couple of days of trying to make the decision, but this decision could save your life. In theory, it could save your life. Actually, no, not in theory. In truth, it will save your life. But if I didn't start taking the help 2 years ago, the fourth would have been my final time of taking my life, and I would not be here today. Would not be. I would be 6 feet under in a ditch. Or in a river. It depends on how I'll do it. You know, just take the help. You know, red pill or blue pill. One's help, one's endless regret. I'll take the help. Which pill are you willing to take?
Listen, man. You know me. I went for the help. I went for the help, like, because I hurt somebody I cared for, and that little spark, that little voice was like, dude, like, you fucked up, and it's bad. You fucked up bad this time because you care for this person. You care for, like, I didn't want to lose that person out of my life, and because I didn't, my natural go-to was just eject people out of my life, no matter who they were. And eventually I would have been everybody. Like, eventually it just takes its toll. Like, some people put up with me just long enough, or like Shin's very, very patient, but eventually, like, eventually I'll cut people off. Even if it's for like a year or 2 years, I won't talk to them. And I've done that to friends before, where I just eject them out and I bring them back in, and like, it could take its toll on them. It can ultimately just be like, man, I can't keep doing this with him. Like, I can't keep doing, like, I'm not in his life, and I'm in his life, and I'm not in his life again. Like, they can't do it. And it sucks. And it sucks a lot that I hurt this person. But they were like, they were the impetus. Like, they weren't the reason why my ass was on that couch. Like, that was my dad. But they were the impetus for me to be there. Because I told myself, I do not want to hurt anybody else like this again. Even if they were never my friend again. I don't want to hurt anyone like this again. And I had my breakthrough with my dad, and I got, my dad issues are done. And like, I'm on the other side of it. And it's great to be on that other side of it. And
you're on the up and up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Like, and then things are changing, and that's so good. And like, I feel so much better that things are changing. And do I think that I could have that friendship? Maybe. I mean, if they want it, like, it's everything's up in the air. Everything could be hopeful, but I think, just like you said, it's I hold it, and just like you keep reminding yourself of it. But I think we can both say is that, do you take it and like blame yourself daily? I don't think so. I don't let me put word in your mouth, but for me, I don't blame myself. I just take it and say, listen, I'm not going to do this again. I'm like, I hold it, and I'm like, because I want to learn from it and be like, this is what I'm going to do differently for the rest of my life and not do this again.
I had, I would say I blame myself for a lot of things. I blame myself for the 2 deaths. Well, I still think it was just kind of on my hands, but then I have had people say, well, it wasn't your fault, because it wasn't. You're like, but you still have that. You're holding on to it for the better. That's good. I want to get rid of mine. I don't want to feel like guilty, because I feel like it was my fault if I didn't ask them to come see me, maybe if I saw my fiance's mental health earlier, and it just, people have called it survivor's guilt, but, what was...
And Paul, they're right. That is, well, to an extent, yeah, it is survivor's guilt. I mean, as your friend, I would tell you, of course, it's not your fault. I mean, it's just like, all right, so I we can discuss this, and I don't, back when I was in middle school, I witnessed my friend get shot. And, for the longest time I thought, like, what could I have done differently that morning? Like, could I have asked him to, like, meet me up in front of the school? Or can I have done this differently? Or could I told him, like, hey, let's meet up over here? And could have that changed his fate? And eventually I started to, once I started to get older and I started thinking back on it, I was like, you know what? In religion, not religion, whatever, however you want to put it, sometimes fate is fate. And we all have just finite amount of time on this blue marble. And I would think, would my friend want me to spend my days thinking, was I at fault, or how could I have made it different? Or would they want me to spend my days trying to seek happiness and live my life to my fullest? I would say that's the same for you, Paul. Like, would these people that have passed in your life, would they want you to sit there and blame yourself? More than likely, no. They would want you to live your life and be happy and seek happiness yourself. I care about you, Paul, and I want to see you happy. I want you to seek happiness. I think that you've made great strides. I think that you are on the younger end of things, for sure, and you still have, you have the most potential out of anyone I think I'm talking to change, to get that happiness that you want, and to not need to rely on pills. And I'm excited for you. I really am. And you're growing every day, and you're a great person, Paul. I'm glad you
Please,
came.
no. I don't want to grow anymore, please.
Not in height.
Please have mercy on me.
All right, Paul. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here?
I think from experience of being depressed, the one thing you have to try and do is try and make fun of it. It works for me. Well, I take the absolute piss out of it. I think I've said this joke a couple of times. Yeah, it's dark humor, but it helped me see the kind of, there is no bright side of suicide, but try to either make fun of it or make people laugh, because that's how I kind of get through the day. Is if I've made one person laugh, then that means I've made them happy for only a few seconds of the time of the day. Say with all the American friends I've met, with flats included, they love it because I say cunt and wanker and a load of other swear words that we say, and they find it funny.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I've just brightened up their day for like a good 10 minutes of laughter. And I know, like, this month's been kind of trash.
Yeah.
Been a trashy month of March so far, because everyone's been having issues and they're not wanting to come on and speak to me. They just don't want to come. I'm like, oh. Or they don't turn up to raid days, and they're like, I'm like, oh, but raid days, it's just cry after cry. But yeah, just you have to find people, in a sense, because I think finding people helps the process.
Mm-hmm.
First you get the help. Second, you find people. I found Chili, Flatus. I found all these people in their Discords and stuff. And just talking with them on a daily basis, if it could be funny, could be, could have been anything. That's why I raid constantly. I raid with a whole lot of different people because I want to. Mainly because it gets my mind off everything. Makes I'm more focused on playing the game. I'm more focused of just, winning. Because, I want to beat fights. You need to put energy into something. Like with me and Flawless, it's podcasting and playing the game, and then working on friendships. You know, that's what you guys need to do. You need to work on yourselves, but also work on a hobby or something to put that energy towards making you try and get that glimmer of light bigger and bigger and bigger until it just consumes the darkness. Because a quote from the game we play, where there is light, there is also darkness. Where there is darkness, there is also light. There is a balance. There is a fine line of balance, but light can overcome darkness. But the darkness will always still be there. It's only the final calamity that will happen. And that calamity is that you get help. That is the calamity. Yes, I just brought that into Final Fantasy references. If you're caught up with the news of the trailers of the game, then you get that. If not, then play Final Fantasy. That's also good.
May you forever walk in the light of the crystal.
Yeah. I think I made that quite good.
I think
we get a shit ton of adverts.
Yeah. Works for me. Paul, thank you so much for coming and chatting with me about your depression and what you do to deal with it, and the journey you're taking still. Go ahead and tell people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me at Moving Around, where I do a podcast bi-weekly with Chili. Of course, if I'm on Twitch, I'll Moving Around. I usually stream on there when I can. You can find me on Twitter at PaulMeller1, where I do a lot of Femro pictures for no random reason. And bunnies, because bunnies are awesome.
It's true,
yeah.
Bunnies are awesome. Bunnies. Shout out to Feeny.
Bunny.
Thank you, Paul, so much. Again, we want to, every episode I want to end it with just letting you know that we are Maelstrom Radio. You can find us on maelstromradio.com. Of course, you can find us on Twitter at maelstrom_radio. Our DMs are open. If you need a chat, you want to reach out to us, you can also email us at show@maelstromradio.com if you just want to send us an email. If these episodes are speaking to you, or just make sure that you seek the help and it's proper help. And as Sarah said the last episode, there is help locally and at all price levels. And if you're in the UK or in a country where your mental health is covered as part of your country's healthcare, please go seek the help there. If it's a little bit harder sometimes in the States, but it's worth the effort. And if you're in a country where you have access to it, please go seek it out. You are important, and you deserve to be here just as much as Paul does, and just as much as I do. Thank you all for joining us for episode 3 of Decade of Darkness, a Maelstrom Radio miniseries. We'll be on to episode 4, and episode 4 is going to be, and I might butcher their name, it is Zonax from Balmung, who is not only a Final Fantasy XIV player, but they have dealt with their own personal mental health issues, and they also work in the field as well. So thank you, Paul. Go listen to Paul's show and you will laugh and learn about chicken.
Bye.
Thank you
Chicken.
all. Yeah. Thank you all, and have a good one. Thank you for listening to Here With Me. Please stay tuned for more episodes in the series.